Take it into the fifth day to make it interesting.
Line up, bowling with the slip and the short leg still. No one out in the offside. Forward, defending. So every ball that Gill's faced from line, he's watching. He considers him more the threat. And of course, the way he got out to line last week at indoor was a horrible shot.
Yeah. I mean, what they did well yesterday was give themselves a little bit of time to suss the surface, as opposed to just going for it in indoor early on.
Lyon, all dots from him so far this morning. Gill goes back, catches the call to short leg, just goes past Peter Hanscom's right mitt, behind square. They get a single. Lyon's got his hands on his head. I wonder whether that might have hit Hanscom's hand on the way through. None for 53, Gill 33. We're going to look for Beaumont tiles here. So a bit shorter from Lyon. Inside edge onto pad. That's not the right camera angle that we want here. Here's the side on, Ravi. Talk us through it.
Yeah, this is it's encouraging for Lyon. Very encouraging, because that's inside edge. Just a hit of turn. What I like already is the way he's varying his pace. It's 94, 95, sudden drop to 85, 86 every now and then, just to gauge what's the right kind of speed on this track.
His first ball to Rowett on this third morning. Lyon delivers, flights it up, defended out to the offside. Yeah, it's a good point about the pace. When he first came here in 2013, Lyon, they did really monster him in that first test at Chennai, and it was the fact that his pace was lower, I reckon, at the time that was a point of focus. But now he's consistently up at 91, 92 kilometres. Got to be quicker at India. Lyon, 2 left in the over. Rowett here, looks to lap, beats Hanscom comfortably, down to fine leg where Stark will do the fielding. So resourceful batting from the captain, moving up to 20, none for 54.
And straight away on this track, you will see the run rate against Nathan Lyon will be much more than the last 3 test matches, because the options are more. The scare of the ball turning isn't that much, and they'll be thinking about rotating the strike.
Finishing the kill, getting a bit of spin. So good over from Lyon. 2 runs coming from it. None for 54, India on the Holman scoreboard. Gill 33, Rowett 20, and the deficit is 426.
Prepare for a winning season by purchasing Moravis Prime Fungicide by Syngenta, and you could be driving away in a new Ford Ranger Raptor, or win one of 200 AgBot tank monitoring systems. Every $20,000 worth of crop protection products purchased through Elders in February and March could grab you a ticket in the draw. Visit your local Elders branch or elders.com.au for details today. Elders, we're for Australian agriculture. Terms and conditions apply.
SEN Test Cricket for Tyre Power. Great shot. Store-wide super sale on now. Phil Long makes weight. He's been with us for Fuso Trucks. Fuso Canters are in stock right now. Job done. Bharat Sundaresan with Ravi Shastri for the first time on commentary today. Morning, Baz.
Morning, Adam. Morning, Ravi.
Morning,
quick
Bharat.
Quick start.
A strong message.
Yeah,
we talked about this at dinner last night about what tempo India might bat at. Well, we've got an early signal here, especially with Stark bowling to Gill. He's into Rowett now, though. Over the wicket, the captain tucks him, tries to tuck him, not quite. Brett, we got some great news before play today. Just before play on our Australian Hacks WhatsApp group, Gideon Haigh, the doyen of the craft in Australia, cricket writer, with no peer, really, but also investigative journalism. He's been down in the basement of the Ahmedabad Stadium here, Modi Stadium, and found the Batmobile.
Ooh.
He has found the car that Prime Ministers Modi and Albanese were taken around in a few days ago. I'm not sure exactly where it is. We're getting taken there at lunch by Gids. Stark is going to go... He's going to go round the wicket.
Nice.
No, he's staying over the wicket. Bit of a tweak. So that man at backward square, it was Khawaja in the previous over. It's now green, and he goes back a few steps. So he's inviting him to go over the top on the clip, Rowett. Stark in, delivers here. The Indian captain defends, but times it past mid-off. Not quite. Good diving stop by Travis Head, scampering over from extra cover. It stays at none for 54. So step one, Ravi, was finding the car. And we spoke about your Audi yesterday and the anniversary of winning that Audi at the MCG in 1985. Step one was finding it. Well, tick, we've done that. Step two, how do we buy it? How do we acquire it? How do we get this car back to Australia in our ownership, in our possession? SEN Test Cricket.
Oh, you can. You can find out, who's given the car, who's the manufacturer, and the association. Why
That's
not?
true, why not?
I feel like you might be the key that unlocks this for us, Ravi.
Has to
Rowan's 20, start here. Looking the pull towards green off the thigh pad, bobbles up, doesn't carry. Green on the way in, stops a single.
Unless they get to know Australia is chasing that car and they want to really frame it and keep it in that Hall of Fame. Yep.
Well, it'd be a diplomatic win, I think, to have that in the Australian Sports Hall of Fame at the MCG.
Yeah, that's
next
true.
to the other Batmobile that I bought a few years ago. The two cars side by side, I think, would be fitting. Well, there's got to be a way through here, Brad. You've been our fixer the whole way through the series.
I'll get it done for you, don't worry. We'll also have Ravi Shastri flown over for that first drive. You just keep the keys to Ravi.
So dropping back is green. Two now out on the rope behind square on the leg side for the short ball. Stark bowls, here it is, and he's ready for it. Rowett knows it's coming. Off the hip it goes for four, tucked away with ease. Our fourth boundary of the day for Blunston. Right on with Blunston. India up to none for 58. The captain 24.
And what's good here is the control. He knows there's three men back, in fact. He normally likes to go up and under, doesn't mind hitting it over the top in spite of fielders being there. This is a big ground. Control there was very good. He's always looking to keep it to ground and more riding it rather than hitting it so that he gets it fine.
Just didn't get up, as.
He didn't. Kind of cramped him as well, didn't it,
Yeah.
Ravi? Yeah.
Third man goes out. So there's fine leg, deep backwards square, and square leg just in front of the umpire, of course. Two left in the over. 22 runs in the session. Stark bowls. Rowett goes back and pushes to cover where Khawaja will do the fielding. Sorry, make that Travis Head.
See, Australia have tried this tactic with Rohit Sharma, and it's worked sometimes. It's worked sometimes for Rohit, but he's someone who will not back off. He will. He gets a lot of runs with that shot, so he trusts his ability in playing it. It's just the control now, knowing that there are three fielders back. You know how he's thinking.
Australia got him out twice, I think, with that ball in Australia.
Yeah.
Once in Sydney on the boundary, Pat Cummins.
That's right. Just before stumps, wasn't it? Stark up to Rowett. Last ball, the over. Short ball takes it on up and over the top into the crowd, and they absolutely love it. The celebrations to our left because their captain's gone bang. Rohit Sharma to 30 with a big one. There for Blunston, right on with Blunston. India off to a flyer on this third morning. None for 64 on the Holman scoreboard.
Hello, this is Bharat Sundaresan. If you're looking to build a new home but need to move in now, consider one of Henley's newly built completed homes. These homes have never been lived in, and Henley has new listings every week. With something to suit every budget in the best locations across Melbourne, enjoy fixed upfront pricing with premium inclusions. Plus, front landscaping, driveway and fencing all included. Keep your cash flow with only 5% deposit and the balance at settlement. Henley Completed Homes. Visit henley.com.au today.
Our first session for MEGT, Australia's apprenticeship and employment experts. And Rohit Sharma, a very clear sign. Put all the fielders out you want. I'll just whack him over the head. Stark's gone for 26 runs in 3 overs this morning. Phil Long tells me for Fuso trucks. Fuso canters are in stock right now. Job done.
It's a big crowd pouring into the Narendra Modi Stadium. Saturday crowd. This is what they have come here to see. Rohit Sharma putting on a show.
Yeah, India batting and good track, so the batsman can look forward to getting some runs. Young Gill there, Kohli, Pujara. But what a start, and no half measures there. That's a massive hit. It's gone at least 15-20 rows into the crowd.
So line to Gill, that battle continues. Sharp spin, glove, thigh pad lands before handscomb. There's two games going on here, isn't there?
It is, and that's why Stark's job should be to keep it tight.
Yeah.
Really, bowl some overs, keep it tight, bring Lyon into play with the ball turning. Then there's a chance of taking wickets.
Rohit Sharma's just passed 17,000 international runs. And that goes up on the scoreboard, recognised accordingly by the Ahmedabad crowd. Interesting, there are so many people outside who can't get in. There was some scrutiny over the bottlenecks on day one, weren't there, about the lack of entry points here. Lyon bowls, Gill on 33, goes back to defend watchfully.
He'll have a long day, Nathan Lyon. He'll need support from Murphy and Koneman, in the sense that they'll have to keep it tight as well in these conditions. It'll be a test for them as well. They bowled on good tracks so far for spin.
Nathan Lyon in. Two catching men, Gill well forward. Yes, there's that sense that Gill knows that against line he needs to play him out early on.
And nice line. He's bowling from over the wicket, a little wider, challenging both edges of the bat. He's got the odd one to turn.
And the mental edge of taking down Stark early on. We saw them do that in that famous Brisbane chase you were involved in, Ravi, a couple of years ago as coach. Line bowls and forward again out the middle of the blade from Gill defending to bit off.
And you remember at the Gabba, the way Nathan Lyon finally got Gill out was from over the wicket and caught it slip. Ball that just slides away, and he's got out to an off spinner once already in this series in that fashion.
Lyon up, staying over the wicket. Gill goes back, watches the ball all the way onto the bat towards mid-wicket it goes.
Nice line, nice line. It's good contest now. And I see Kahneman warming up. So
might be spin at both ends. Yep. Lyon's now got 113 wickets against India and Ashwin yesterday. His 113th wicket against Australia. Two of the spinners of the series for Lumo Energy. Well bowled Lumo Energy. Lyon to finish here. Gill back and tucks a single. Out towards deep backwards square. There'll be a second if they really insist upon it, but Stark scampers out and make sure that it's only one. 16 overs gone, India, none for 65. They trail by 415 on the Holman scoreboard. Holman for the smart gardener. Rohit Sharma 30, Gill 34.
Working with your hands, eating healthy, going to bed early. All rewarding, but not as rewarding as a Kogan Money credit card. With 0% per annum for 14 months on eligible purchases, plus $500 Kogan.com credit to spend on the most in-demand products when you meet the minimum spend criteria. Use it anytime, anywhere. The Kogan Money credit card, it's just more rewarding. Head to Kogan.com to find out more. Spend criteria applies. Offer ends March 19, 2023. T's and C's, fees and charges apply. Credit provider, National Australia Bank Limited.
SEN at Test Cricket for Tyre Power. Know your tyres. So Gill's taken 2 singles offline, 16 deliveries to him so far this morning. I wonder if they've done some storyboarding at the start of the day, the Indian camp, about where they might get to. In all probability, to give themselves a chance to win, they might need to bat till the end of day 4, which feels a really long way away, but to kind of get that lead and to play the last day on their terms. It's miles away from that, but would that be the sort of conversation the coach might be having after play last night?
Definitely. They would have said, just play normal cricket. Express yourself here. Bat the day. If we get 300 plus, and we have wickets in hand, we look to bat further into day 4 and get ahead by 100, 150. Then that'll put pressure on Australia.
Kuhneman's first turn today, replacing Stark. Bowled 2 overs last night. Starts here to Shubman Gill, well forward. Defending out to mid-wicket. Big day for Kuhneman and Murphy, isn't it?
But still a long way to go. It's session by session. You can't think that far ahead. It's only day 3. Think day 3.
It just feels more like when we were in Pakistan last year, doesn't it? When you can kind of cast forward a couple of days due to the placid conditions. Kuhneman closer to the stumps, bowls to Gill, defending again. And last year it was when Australia's second spinner was Mitch Swepson, who found it hard to contain in circumstances like this.
I asked Dan Vittori about what he's seen from Murphy and Kuhneman from those 2 test matches and how he thinks they might go on a pitch like this.
Kuhneman left arm round. Shubman watchful, mid-wicket it goes.
And he said that the consistency that they've shown and the ability both of them have shown to play different roles, be defensive, be attacking, just so important as a spinner in this case.
Extremely important. Good start here from Kuhneman. Just seeing the pace at which he's bowling, the accuracy.
Kuhneman 3 dots to start. Driven down towards long off by Shubman. Nicely played to move him to 35 from 56 balls, none for 66 India.
What's the adjustment you have to make when you go from a turner to a pitch like this, Ravi, as a bowler?
I think it's the basics. You've got to stick to the basics. It's be accurate, probably vary your flight a little more, and stick to those lines. And the same thing you do on a turner. But on a turner, the pace might vary a little more. And the lines can vary because of the turn you get. Here, you might have to be closer to that off stump. Like, for example, Lyon can't go too wide because it won't turn from there. Like Ashwin showed yesterday. You've got to be closer and tighter towards that off stump.
Kuhneman here, first ball he bowls to Rohit for the day. Can't beat the bowler in his follow-through. When you talk about varying flight, do you mean giving the ball more air on surface?
Slow it up a bit. Vary the pace, like we saw Ashwin yesterday after tea, really going slow. Going in 79, 80 even.
Right. Just one slip. The only catching man, Stephen Smith. Kuhneman finishing his first over of the day. Rohit Sharma down to long off. So 2 singles in that direction. The captain retains the strike on 31. Gill on 35. India, none for 67 on the Holman scoreboard. Holman for the smart gardener. They trail by 413.
Hello, this is Bharat Sundaresan. If you're looking to build a new home but need to move in now, consider one of Henley's newly built completed homes. These homes have never been lived in, and Henley has new listings every week. With something to suit every budget in the best locations across Melbourne, enjoy fixed upfront pricing with premium inclusions. Plus, front landscaping, driveway and fencing all included. Keep your cash flow with only 5% deposit and the balance at settlement. Henley Completed Homes. Visit henley.com.au today.
Our first session for MEGT.com.au. Build your best workforce with MEGT.com.au. A little impromptu drinks break between overs. We'll see a bit of that today. 36 degrees, the forecast top temperature. They've already added, well, they've taken the score from 36 to 67 in the space of 29 minutes. So good going for the home side as they try and eliminate as much of this deficit as they can in favourable conditions.
A big day for Shubman Gill. Ravi Shastri not got big runs at home soil yet. He's a stuttered test career. When you saw him play that innings at the Gabba, you were like, wow, 100 test player.
So he did he kind of got dropped. He kind of got dropped at a weird time, didn't he? He made 100 against Bangladesh in December and lost his way. Again, you look at it on paper.
I was a little surprised. I would have been very tempted to start off with him, knowing what he's done against Australia. You know, finishing off at Melbourne and then that 90 at the Gabba. Very tempted because he was hot. He got some runs in one-day cricket as well.
It doesn't always translate, but looks good so far today. Rowan on 31, facing line, using his feet, pushing down to long on. This won't be the 1,000th maiden for line. None for 68 India. Rowan up to 32. He just seems like the kind of player where coming through, it's hard to justify dropping them. It's kind of the other way around. Kind of like Aiden Markram with South Africa. We were flabbergasted that he was not in Australia late last year. On the back of form, but he seems so good.
Especially against the quicks. And same with Gill. You know, if he's in, he'll blaze away to 100.
Line away from us at the northern end, passing up high. Kettleborough bowls here, using his feet. Gill back to line, crowd catch. Line went along with it for a moment, nearly duped me as well.
He'll be itching to come down, but there's a man at deep mid wicket. There's a man at long on.
One at deep backward square as well. So 3 out. Short leg and slip his catches. Line in, Gill squeezing out a full ball. A shout from behind the wicket from Alex Carey and Steve Smith.
Now, is it pad bat?
Now, if it's pad bat, this might be close. Nathan Lyon goes up to Smith, who's pretty keen on this, I reckon.
I think you're going to see the impact.
Yeah, they're going up. They are going up. So it was Smith who was more vociferous than Carey in the appeal. Lyon was a long way from the jazz hands pleading appeal. It was more like the polite inquiry.
Pretty much.
For me, it's impact.
I thought he got himself slightly outside the line when he jumped out. The impact looked to be slightly outside off stump, even in the replay.
It'll be relying on a fair bit of spin. And it was almost Yorker length. So a big call here from Smith early in the day, remembering just how crucial these reviews are in conditions like this. So it does pitch
not out
outside the line of the off stump. It's pad first, but impact will be outside the line.
Outside,
There's no way more than half the ball is inside the line of the off stump. So that will be...
They might get away with umpire's call, maybe.
Maybe. Generous, but that's the only question here for Australia. It is pad first, so they won't be denied via the inside edge. Could be quite important, the umpire's call here, in terms of retaining the third review.
Australia would want to hold on to that review.
In good batting conditions.
So we're not really watching for the dismissal, we're watching for impact. One red, is there a second red? Oh, it is impact over 3 metres, but outside the line of the off stump in any case. So they're going to lose that review. The Indian fans see that flash up on the screen. They're chuffed. For what it's worth, it was hitting leg stump halfway up, but it matters not.
And while we get back into position, just a question on Gill. There's been this talk that some in the Indian camp look at him as a future number 4 for whenever Virat Kohli's time is come. Do you agree with that, or would you prefer sticking him up?
No, I think number 3 might be his best position in the long run. Not number 4, number 3. Because he has, you need a player at number 3 who can counter-attack. Yet, if the conditions are such, back his defence and hold up. There's an argument there.
Yeah, there's an
He's
interesting
checking
conversation.
Exactly what happened.
So what Smith's litigating, or what he's arguing rather, is that if it's more than 3 metres down the track, then how can they adequately assess the impact being outside the off stump? Therefore, how can they lose their review? And that's prompted Richard Kettleborough to have a chat with Nitin Menon, and Lyons involved as well.
Yeah.
That outside the 3 metre window has been a point of controversy since the DRS came in.
For a long time. And Steve Smith knows all about it. He was given out,
yes.
remember?
To Keshad Maharaj at the Wacker all those years ago. Maharaj's debut. Lion bowls here, using his feet, Gill, pushing just next to the left-handed Hanscom. That's good bowling again.
Very good. 5th stump, 6th stump, all turned from there. And you can see the pace at which he's bowling. It's not easy to chip down to.
Still some discussion between Lyon and Kettleborough.
Just getting that replay back again for Beaumont Tile. So he did use his feet, and it's very clearly, according to DRS, over 3 metres, but it also says review lost. Anyway, back to Lyon to bowl a little bit shorter at Gill, who forces it off the back foot out through point. There's a gap there, they get a couple. Travis Head does the tidying up. None for 60. Make that none for 70 with 1 ball to go in the over. Great partnership this already. Gill 37. India trailed by 4-10. I wonder what our biggest opening partnerships have been of the series, Phil Long. I think India's on day one at Nagpur was about 70 before Murphy got a late breakthrough. Last ball over here from Lyon, using his feet again. Gill to defend out to mid-wicket. There'll be a change in commentary after the break. I'm jumping out. Ravi's jumping out as well, to be replaced by Daniel Norcross and Louis Cameron. On the Holman scoreboard, Holman for the smart gardener. Rowett 32, Gill 37, India none for 70.
It's never been more important to buy Australian than right now. Our local manufacturers and growers produce world-class products known for their quality, safety and reliability. All while generating local jobs, supporting our communities and helping Australian families now and into the future. So look for the trusted green and gold kangaroo logo. Buy Australian now. Visit australianmade.com.au.
SEN Test Cricket, first session of third day, our first session with MEGT. Build your best workforce with MEGT.com.au. And India have started brightly. They've added 34 in 8 overs. It's got to be said, most of those runs have come from Mitchell Starc, 26 from his 3. We're on maiden watch. If you're an Aussie fan, the thing that's really exciting you, because it sure as heck isn't taking any wickets on this placid wicket, is can Nathan Lyon become the 14th bowler to bowl 1,000 maidens? Yes, that's where we're at. That really
already
is. I'm afraid we are. But where I'm at, I've got to say, as an entirely impartial observer, is how many runs can India get today? If they get to 350, 370, jitters will start to go through the Aussies as Kuhnemann is in, bowls around the wicket to the right-handed Rohit, who comes forward in defence back to the bowler, and there's no run. And we mentioned at the start of the programme, did we not, Louis Cameron, the Spectre of Chennai? Yes, when England scored 477.
Still dream about
Rohit's in, forward in defence, back to the bowler, no run, and still lost by an innings.
Yeah, still dream about that Karuna triple 100. I was there.
I mean, that must have been a scintillating watch.
It was. Poor Karun Nair. I mean, how many guys have made a triple 100 in Test cricket and played just 2 or 3 Test matches after that?
I think the answer's none.
That to someone in their mid-20s.
Could have went in. This is pushed into the offside. They go through for a quick single. It goes quite square of the wicket. Flush shy at the stumps at the non-striker's end. Misses. And Rohit is home. None for 71. This is the kind of urgency that's in India's batting this morning that we didn't see from Australia. I'm sorry to bang on about it, but in the world of Bazball, there is a reason for trying to score runs more quickly, to give yourself more time in a game. And Australia were very slow in that middle session. They were quite slow overall. Usman Khawaja playing the anchor role, which was fine, but no one around him really got proactive until Cameron Green, as Kuhnemann is in with a slip in place and Shubman Gill turns into the onside. There's no run, whereas India here are looking to go at not quite 4 and over at the moment, but the positive attacking intent is there, and you can see that India believe that they can still force a win out here, hoping the pitch will deteriorate at the back end.
And you bring up Chennai, Daniel. I think the one that would stick in Australia's memories as Kuhnemann comes in.
And it's defended by again, it's the onside, no run.
Is Ranchi in 2017, where Australia were very, not lucky, but they had to hold on for dear life to draw that test where They were on for, I think that was the Glenn Maxwell game where he made 100. Steve Smith might have made 100 as well. They only in inverted commas, got to 400, 450.
Yeah.
India declared on 9 for 600 and 1,000, and Australia nearly lost.
Last ball of the over, Kuda is tucked into the onside, goes straight to mid-wicket again. India on the Holman scoreboard. Holman for the smart gardener at the end of the over, and none for 71.
Hello, this is Bharat Sundaresan. If you're looking to build a new home but need to move in now, consider one of Henley's newly built completed homes. These homes have never been lived in, and Henley has new listings every week. With something to suit every budget in the best locations across Melbourne, enjoy fixed upfront pricing with premium inclusions. Plus, front landscaping, driveway and fencing all included. Keep your cash flow with only 5% deposit and the balance at settlement. Henley Completed Homes. Visit henley.com.au today.
Test cricket on SEN for Tyre Power. Know your tyres. We were talking about the spectre of Chennai, and Bharat Sundaresan is with me.
It was a pretty ordinary English team to start with. I'm just kidding.
Oh, yeah.
No, I mean, the difference between Chennai to 2016 and Ahmedabad 2023 is England had already been battered and bruised in that series. The series was gone. It was the 5th test of the series, and a lot of them you could see were ready to go home.
Nathan Lyon starts a new over to Rohit, who comes forward. Defence pushes into the offside, and there's no run.
It's also Alistair Cook's final test as captain. There was, throughout that series, I remember the English press were going after him to the extent he lost his cool at me, of all people, a couple of times in press conferences. Yeah.
Wow, he doesn't often lose
Exactly,
his cool.
yeah. It had to come down to me. Don't roll your eyes at me, he yelled at me.
Did he? Wow, I'll have a word with him about that. Forward in defence comes Rohit, and it's picked up by Carey. There's no run. I'm sorry, I'm outraged on your behalf. I will speak to Sir Alistair.
Yeah, you should. At the end of the Mumbai test, I asked him a very valid question saying, are there any positives at all that you can take from the series with one test to go? And he started saying, a puff of dust, by the way, for Nathan Lyon. That's a good sign. And that didn't happen in Chennai, I can tell you, on day 3.
Why was Alistair Cook talking about a puff of dust for Nathan Lyon?
No, I mean,
we just saw a puff of dust. Forward comes Rohit, back to the bowler, and he parries it, and it's picked up at mid-wicket. There's no run. It's significant, though. But
yeah. So as he was talking about the few positives, I have an expressive face. I must have rolled my eyes, and from the podium, he looks down and says, "Why are you rolling your eyes at me?" I said, "Well, did I?" He said, "Yes, you're rolling your eyes at me." I said, "If I am, then maybe I don't agree with you." And he was really, really angry.
They don't like to be disagreed with, then, England captains. Flicked into the onside, Rohit, as he moves right across off stump, trying to negate the spin, and picks out deep mid-wicket. And once more, Lyon has been denied a maiden when he was within 3 balls of history.
So we get to Chennai, and the entire English press pack, every day as I would walk into the press box, they would all roll their eyes at me.
He's a very placid man normally, but, India can break people. Even Sir Alistair with his equability. This ball spins, and it's played off the back foot by Shubman Gill. And there am I, trying to put the fear of God into Australians. But I tell you, there's signs of turn here.
Signs of turn,
Signs
indeed.
of turn as Harsha Bhogle has entered the room and is performing trichology, hair massage, and no, he's what is he doing? He's hanging. He's hanging his hat. He's hanging Bharat's hat on his massive mane as this ball is defended back to the bowler. And that is the end of the over. The Holman scoreboard. Holman for the smart gardener. India none for 72.
Prepare for a winning season by purchasing UPL's Startup Seed Treatment, and you could be driving away in a new Ford Ranger Raptor. Or win one of 200 Agbot tank monitoring systems. Every $20,000 worth of crop protection products purchased through Elders in February and March could grab you a ticket in the draw. Visit your local Elders branch or elders.com.au for details today. Elders, we're for Australian agriculture. Terms and conditions apply.
Test cricket on SEN with Tyre Power. Know your tyres. And, well, I've been given a wonderful Fuso stat from our Fuso statistician. We'd had 10 overs this morning. 26 runs had come from the 3 overs of Stark, who it seems to me is there simply to make rough outside the right-handers off stump. And the spinners have bowled 7 overs for 10.
And that's also credit to India. They've identified the role that Stark's playing. And he was, to his credit, or in his defence, he was going for the attack. He tried bowling short to Rohit Sharma despite the 3 fielders out there. Just that this pitch gave him nothing to play with. And it's still not reached that point where the balls are keeping low.
I personally thought that he should have been kept on a little bit longer.
I think so
Mitchell
too.
Stark.
Yeah,
While that ball's nice and hard, I actually thought that was a pretty valid tactic, the one they were going after.
Yeah.
Rohit Sharma in particular looked in a bit of trouble.
Kuhnemann in, and that's full. Defender back to the bowler, no run.
In a bit of trouble might not be quite the right word, but there were 3 or 4 guys out on the hook, 3 of them on the boundary, and I mean he took them on, didn't he? He played on the up
and didn't play. He played one beautifully for 6, but he did get a couple of gloves, and could have gone anywhere. Kuhnemann, with a grunt, bowls a fuller effort ball. It's played out into the offside, picked up in the covers. There's no run.
And it's obviously the kind of tactic that will leak runs. Like, these are attacking batters, and some balls may go for 6, but you might buy yourself a wicket at the same time.
That's why you have 480 runs on the board to play with.
Yeah.
And it's a tactic you can stick to for a little longer when you have 480 and not 280 on the board. And Rohit Sharma cannot help himself on most times, and it's a tactic Australia have used a lot against him. He has scored runs, but he's also quite often got out to it.
Kuhnemann into Rohit. Rohit plays from the crease and just tucks the ball out into the onside, just in front of square, out towards Cameron Green, who loops in from the boundary. 1 more to the total, none for 73. Rohit to 35.
And it'd be one thing as well if this pitch was starting to show signs of turn, and there is the odd puff of dust, but we're watching Matthew Kuhnemann there, and there is just not much for him. He's coming very wide of the crease. He's trying to get some purchase away from these 2 right-handers, but it's just not there at the moment.
Kuhnemann has a slip in place. Gill flicks this to short mid-wicket, and there is no run. I'll just quickly give you the field. Deep square leg and a short fine leg. Khawaja. Mid-wicket, mid-on, who's a fair way back. Just about saving one. Can you see a long off? I can't see a long off.
Yeah, there is.
It's hidden. No, right by the... Right, yes.
No, it's Nathan Lyon.
Nathan Lyon.
Hidden out there by the umbrella. Short extra as forward comes Gill. And finds... There is Nathan Lyon. Suddenly I see him emerge from beneath an umbrella and come in from the boundary to keep the score into 1, none for 74. And there's a deep point, backward point. And that short extra, love a shame.
Yeah, Nathan Lyon standing under the umbrella in the Indian dugout. If I was the Indian team, I would just move it away. Some gamesmanship.
Why not? We'd like to see a bit of that. Kuhnemann in, Rohit. Punches! Caught! Punches off the back foot and caught at short extra cover. A loose shot from Rohit. It was a nothing ball, really. A little bit back of a length, and Rohit looked to whack it through the offside, off the back foot, driving, and has picked out the one fielder, short extra cover, Labuschagne. And would you believe it, what a way for India to lose their first wicket. Rohit goes for 35, India 1 for 74.
Rohit Sharma has thrown his head back. He slapped himself a few times with his bat. He can't believe what he's done. It's really a nothing ball. Maybe it got stuck in the pitch. He's just lazily tried to drive away from his body. I think it did stop on him a little. He's hit it straight to Manas Labuschagne. That's a gift of a wicket. Australia will take it whichever way it comes. It's a massive breakthrough on this pitch.
Louis, didn't look like a wicket was going to come. Yes, the ball started to do a little bit, but not enough, and that was not a ball to be getting out to. He'll be furious. A lot of batters have got out to nothing balls in this test, but when you're set, you've been in for 45 minutes this morning. That's just an ugly way to go.
And as I was saying, it was a genius move to take Mitchell Stark off there, because there was just absolutely nothing happening for him. And as I was just saying, Matthew Kuhnemann just looked like he was showing some signs that he might be getting some major spin. And Rohit Sharma might be on the verge of hitting one straight to short cover.
The Oracle strikes, Louis Cameron strikes.
That's why Steve Smith's captaining this test, and I'm not.
Now, I mean, it's Rohit Sharma. You can still see him. It's a long way up into the Indian dressing room. He's shaking his head. That was a big score there for the taking. It's a lot like Travis Head. Travis Head looked so solid in that first innings when he was flowing. He was in great flow. Makes 32. Just picks the wrong ball to step out to, and he's gone. So it's that kind of pitch. There is a lot of margin for error as a batter. But you don't want to make a mistake like that. That would hurt, especially after he's got it high in. It's a mistake that Pujara won't make, and Pujara has walked out and already run a couple of singles. You can see
he's running a 3.
He is running a 3. I don't know whether he's run a few 3s with once he's on strike. This is the pitch that they've all been waiting for.
Well, what a breakthrough. What a time for a breakthrough as well. Just the last ball of the over, which is rather scuppered our break, but we'll make it up. India 1 for 74 on the Holman scoreboard. Holman for the smart Gardner, and now Lyon is going to be starting a new over to Shubman Gill, who comes forward in defence. He loves it. Jazz hands. He's on jazz hands. It's hit the pad, and he likes it so much there's now going to be a big conflab. He came a long way forward to that. A long way forward.
Oh, well outside off stump. Don't do it, Steve Smith. Don't do it.
It didn't feel right. It did not feel right in real time, and Smith has decided against it. But when you see the hard knee bend and the jazz hands, you do think that Lyon thinks he's onto something. We're just going to take a look here on the Holman replay screen. Sorry, the Brentwood Tiles replay screen, and that's, well, I don't know. Everything's wrong. Everything's wrong. Forget it. Look away now. I think that's the excitement of having taken a cheap wicket.
Yeah.
But there is a clear shift in strategy here from Nathan Lyon, having spent the first 3 tests bowling around the wicket and knowing that that turn was there, that he could get bowls and LBWs. The spin just isn't here on this pitch, so he's operating mostly over the wicket, and he's troubling Shubman Gill with a bit of the bounce and a little bit of variable turn.
You would have seen how Ashwin bowled on this pitch, especially in the second session yesterday. This is pretty much what Ashwin did. Stuck to over the wicket.
Line in again to Gill, who goes back into his crease. Could be perilous on a turning track. This isn't a turning track. And keep a little low, though, as he pushes into the offside. I've got to say, great work on the Kuhneman on the Kuhneman decision, and that's the kind of stuff we get with our experts. The SEN app. Download it today from your app store.
Well done, Daniel Norcross.
Might have to edit back the lead into that.
We can do that.
Well.
It's the magic of radio. Forward comes Gill as he defends back up the wicket. There's no run.
Shubman Gill's getting a little edgy. His natural instinct is to leave his crease and come at the spinner. He wants to do that. Nathan Lyon's not allowing him to do that. A couple of times he's been caught in the crease. It's an interesting period. A very tricky period for Shubman Gill. Can he get through this? Nathan Lyon can sense blood. Can smell it.
And him coming down the wicket to hit that 6 last night in the last over. Gee, that was gutsy, wasn't it?
Gill, what's he going to do? He comes down the wicket again, but this time to defend. He gets right outside the line of off stump. Smothering spin. Pushes the ball back to line. There's no run. There's a sense, this game has just changed. Just in the last 15 minutes or so. It's not just the wicket. We've seen a puff of dust. We've seen a modicum of turn. Just seen a little bit more caution from Shubman Gill.
Ever since you brought up Chennai.
It was, ever since I brought up the spectre of Chennai. The line is in, it's flicked away, down to long on, and scuppers are made in the 5th ball of the over after 4 dots. There's something rather tantric about waiting for this maiden. 1 for 75, Gill to 39, Pujara yet to score.
The words you guys use, coming from the east, from the west, or wherever you come from. Tantric,
I come from
karma.
All points, from all points.
Yeah,
I'm a citizen of the world, which makes me very unpopular for my former Prime Minister Theresa May, who said that with dripping contempt. Citizen of the world.
Even last night, the cafe we went to for Peter's birthday dinner, I saw a chakra spa. You guys love using those words, don't you? The chakra spa. Karma.
A small, short break in play while a man with an orange tabard wanders on, and now he's going to have to sprint off. It's a long old distance. Come on, go away. What has he brought? He's brought shin guards for Hanscom.
For Manus.
For Manus. Shin guards for Manus.
Which means...
It's a very interesting... It's a book by Hanif Qureshi, I believe. The Shin Guards for Manus.
Shin guards for Manus. But also means it's going to get noisier around the bat.
If Manus is in there. And we know already that Peter Hanscom already had his baseball catches equipment on underneath his whites there. I'm not sure you're across that, Daniel.
Beautiful piece written by Louis
future over.
A beautiful piece written by Louis Cameron.
Right, short leg and a silly mid off as Lyon is in. Another piece to the outside edge. It's all happening out there. Pujara beaten first ball. End of the over. On the Holman scoreboard, India 1 for 75.
Hello, this is Bharat Sundaresan. If you're looking to build a new home but need to move in now, consider one of Henley's newly built completed homes. These homes have never been lived in, and Henley has new listings every week. With something to suit every budget in the best locations across Melbourne, enjoy fixed upfront pricing with premium inclusions. Plus, front landscaping, driveway and fencing all included. Keep your cash flow with only 5% deposit and the balance at settlement. Henley Completed Homes. Visit henley.com.au today.
Test cricket on SEN with Tyre Power. Know your tyres. Now you can get in touch with us. You can follow SEN Cricket on Twitter, Instagram and TikTok by following the handle at SEN_cricket. Subscribe to SEN's cricket content podcast on the SEN Cricket podcast channel. It is full of lovely content. Start of a new over, and it's Kuhneman in. First ball is clipped away out to deep forward square leg for a single. Brings Gill onto strike. Brings Pujara onto strike. Gill to 40, and Bharat Sundaresan has left us to be replaced by no less a gnomic noble entity than Pete Lalor, who yesterday, as we know, celebrated his 60th birthday with cake and jollity and tarly and beetroot juice. I noticed you went for the blood pressure buster. I did the same. There's something about the age you reach at a certain point.
Yeah, it might be something about the company I kept.
Yeah, it's a company too, yeah. Intimations of mortality were everywhere last night.
I like that black cloud that comes in on a summer's day when I replace Sundaresan, aren't I?
Kuhneman is into Pujara, who's been beaten off his first ball. What do you do with his second? He drives nicely back to the bowler, and there's no run. I'm going to give you the field. Short, fine leg, deep square leg, mid-wicket, mid-on. Mid-off, short extra cover, a backward point, a deep point, and just the one slip. We're seeing signs of something happening, Pete.
There's a bit more turn this morning, isn't there?
Just a little
bit more turn, and well, let's see what the Aussies can do with it. It's certainly not the degree of turn that we've been seeing in the other Test matches, and there's no doubt that we will see more than 3 days in this match, which we haven't in the first 3 Tests.
And we're going to a 5th, I'm pretty sure of that. As Kuhneman is in, and this is defended into the onside, and there, you got the inside half of the bat. So it's not dramatic, kids, back home. We're not all going oohs and ahs, but there's something happening that's more than the nothing.
Yeah, there's been a couple of half LBW chances with Gill. You know, he sort of danced down the pitch and put his pad out. It was outside the line, and it was too far down the wicket. It's a bit like me in an argument with my adolescent kids, wrong about everything. But there's a hint there that they're not quite getting the line right. They're scrambling to cover it a little bit.
There is, and even Mitchell Starc this morning, although he went for 26 runs, did have a couple of chances where it looked like he might be getting the better of Rohit Sharma. Interesting, Nathan Lyon at mid-off has been in deep conversation with Matthew Kuhneman between deliveries here too.
Kuhneman's now got a sort of very much forward short leg, and it just goes past his left hand. It's almost a silly bit on, really, and goes back to the bowler, and there's no run.
And Nathan Lyon was instrumental in Matthew Kuhneman taking